Deb, who's been coaching for 6 years. Without further ado, here's our host, Deb.
Hey, good afternoon. That's right. It's Monday afternoon already, so you've made it halfway through the day, so you're doing pretty good. I'm in studio today, and I have one of the guys that was at Fundapalooza this year, and it was the first time I ever met him, and I'm so glad I did because he's a good guy and an outstanding musician, and I have him live in studio today. Welcome to Diva Dialogue, Scott.
Hey, good morning. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Not too bad. A little chilly.
Yeah.
Hanging in there. Michigan weather here.
Right, but the lake is finally freezing, and I've been seeing ice shanties out there for the first time.
And it'll last all the way into the summer, I'm sure.
Yep. And I felt bad for those guys last year because nobody got to fish for very much last year.
Except for those guys that fish in the summer out there on the ice. Yeah, exactly. They try on that thin ice. I don't know. They're some diehards.
It's kind of scary, isn't it?
It's very scary.
So I welcome you to Diva Dialogue, and it's the first time you've seen our studio. What do you think?
Well, I love this. This is great being on the corner downtown here where I spent most of my life down in Bay City here. I grew up in Essexville, so getting to see a corner studio and experience the feeling of a bigger city feel, where people actually can walk by and check out things while they're live. It's a very nice feeling.
Yeah, good. It's fun. It was really fun this summer when everybody was playing Pokemon Go, and they'd wave and we'd have people coming in. So it's really fun. I love being here.
Oh, yeah.
So, welcome, and tell me a little bit about you. What got you into music? What kind of guy are you? What do you like?
What got me into music? I guess music's gone back into as far as I can remember. It was singing at home, the radio in the car, my mom's 45s and records, my dad's 8-tracks. And then, to find out my grandma was a really great piano player. My dad had played clarinet in the band, and he really enjoyed. That's one of the things in life he enjoyed. And that didn't really tie it in for me, but I could tell that I must have had something going because on my mom's side, my grandma being a great piano organist, she did it by ear, and I was always able to learn by ear. Even though I am trained to read music, I play saxophone too, tenor saxophone. But I picked up the guitar in my teens, and I've been playing ever since. Actually, I got my first band out there in 99, 2000 called Muddy Gumbo. And it was a little later in my life, a little later in my 20s, but I told myself if I'm not out playing by the time I'm 30 to drop the whole idea. So I made sure I got on it, and this is so far everything's been good. And I put out my 4th solo album here a month ago. So I got 4 solo records and an album with Muddy Gumbo and an EP with Muddy Gumbo way back in the day. Well, I should say 99, 2000, 2001, around there. But I'm really happy. I've played all around the state. I've opened up for some national acts.
Wow.
Gotten to have a good time, playing rock and roll and acoustic singer-songwriter stuff.
Cool. I like that. And it's good that you do that acoustic stuff too, because I don't know, it's just more mellow and more intimate, isn't it?
Yeah, actually, all my songs start that way. I was trying to think the other day. I think every song I've ever written, I've started on the acoustic. I don't know if I may have written 1 or 2 on the electric, but they all start just from ideas on the acoustic guitar musically, and then I add my lyrics, or most of the time I'll write lyrics and add music to it, so it's one way or the other. But to sit with the acoustic and get that feeling is usually the start of my the genesis of my music there.
Very good. And I love some of your songs, well, all of them really, but what made you decide that music was the way to go? I mean, is it something that you feel in your heart, in your spirit? Because it's a tough road. You know that.
Oh, it's absolutely tough. It's not all I do. I have a day job. I'm a cook. I've been cooking since 1987. But playing music is something that is so driven in me and always has been such a big part of me. It has to be in the blood. I found out my grandma, who I was talking about earlier, that played the great piano organ. Her mom used to tour around the state playing piano to silent movies.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
how fun is that?
And she's played everywhere around Michigan, apparently, back in the early 20s and 30s and stuff and 40s.
Do you have pictures of her?
No, but I
Oh,
heard the stories
darn.
later as I started becoming more of a musician. They were like, oh, your great grandma used to do this. And she played the State Theater, and I've been in the State Theater. And she played up in the UP at this one place, and I've played up there in that place. And
Oh, that's fun.
I think it's kind of come down the chain. And when it come to learning stuff in school, and everything, for whatever reason, history. I mean, I'm good in math, and I'm good in English. I'm also a journalist, music journalist. But having music knowledge stuck with me. I can remember the most mundane music things, but I couldn't tell you, American History 101. I can't retain that, but I can retain music things.
Funny how our brains work, isn't
I'm wired
it?
musically somehow, yeah.
Yeah. You met Michael Hopkins at Fundapalooza,
Mm-hmm.
and he's my son. And his grandma, my mom, was a caterer, and his dad was a musician, and he is a chef and singer-songwriter. Isn't that fun? You guys have a lot in common.
Well, I think if you go through the annals of rock, there's a lot of people, or music period, there's a lot of people that play guitar and cook and do music and cook, and they get, Santana started out as a dishwasher.
I know that.
So, he was in the kitchen himself, and it
Too
all goes
funny.
around, yeah.
That's really funny. So I'm so happy you brought your guitar today. Hi, Mailman. Bye, Mailman. We're glad you're well. He was sick last week. We had a substitute. And Dylan doesn't know that substitute. So all hell would break loose every time the mailman would come. It wasn't too bad today. So are you going to sing something?
Yeah, I could do a song off the record.
Great. Which one?
I'm going to do the song Fleeting.
Oh,
Off
good.
the record. I think I did it for you back in August when I saw you. It's a song I wrote for my kids, my twins. As the morning arrived, I watched expressions and thrived. I lost in your silent stare. You're fleeting away, mine for sure, while soon you'll not be there. Like you've always been here, a part of me that sees so clear. It's what that smile does for me, and it feels the same. I'm just a corner piece of your puzzle frame. With each step as it whispers when it's wet, out of change the season. I hear the song you sing, I know I shouldn't feel. Breaks my heart for the right reason. Take each breath like a photograph. You never capture it all. Hold me close now and lock me tight inside your arms. This chapter's in says I take the fall. I see your voice in my mind. I see you make your choices in time. So much it impacts on me. Lucky to see how you make your way to break free. And with each step as it ripples when it's wet, your colors change with the season. Hear the song you sing, I know I shouldn't feel, but breaks my heart for the right reason. Take each breath like a photograph. You'll never capture it all. Hold me close now and lock me tight inside your arms. This chapter's in says I take the fall. Take each breath like a photograph. You'll never capture it all. Hold me close now and lock me tight inside your arms. This chapter's in since I take the fall. Thank you.
Really nice. Thank
I
you.
was trying to hold the guitar up on my leg, get a little more in the air there, and I think I fumbled a few, but that was fun. It was fun.
Good. So, as a coach, a lot of times people are struggling to find their love, what they want to do with their lives. And you're so lucky that you found it, huh?
Oh, I think if everybody could find their true expression, that's definitely where the heart is. You if you can find that, you can find inner peace. You can find outward happiness. You can you're able to put your star on other people and your brightness and your smile or whatever. Even on a gloomy day, as long as you have your base, that's where you can absorb energy from. Yeah.
Well put. That was nice. And you can tell. Can't you tell when people are just happy?
Oh, for sure. There's
nice.
A lot of people that I don't think have gotten a chance to find it too. I mean, they're by how harsh things can be for them or how they are in front of other people. But when you find something that grounds you, you can't but help be thankful and be wanting to share it with others. So you see that in other people's eyes that have found their inner star, but there are a few that haven't, and or they haven't had a chance to grasp it, or they don't know how to do it, or they're afraid of it.
So, what would be your advice to a person that hasn't found it yet?
What you gotta go back and just spend some time thinking what truly makes you happy. And if it's dancing on the couch and being some kind of karaoke wonder kind, whatever it is that your inner feelings lead you to do, follow the path that keeps that smile on your face. Because if everybody did that, we'd all have some genuine outward happiness for everybody. And when everybody shares that happiness, I could say, like my album title, the whole community will aspire then.
Right. Yep, that's right. That's very true. And so when you're searching and you can't find it, what would be something that would, are there little sparks every now and then? How can you discover those little sparks and live on them, thrive on them?
You got to probably go back to thinking, if you're an adult and you're having a rough time, you've got to go back to thinking what made you initially happy when you were younger. And that happiness is usually where you find your heart.
Oh, that's so very true. Yep, that's exactly when I'm coaching older people. That's exactly what I say. Because I think as we get older, we forget how to play.
Yeah.
And even with each other, we forget that interaction. And it's so fun. And that's why having kids is such a wonderful thing, because they make you laugh so hard. And when they laugh so hard, it just lights your spirit. So I love that you wrote that song for your twins.
Yeah. They're 6 now, and they move so quickly that they're not going to be there for me. I mean, they'll be there for me, but they won't be at home on the stage. And
it goes so fast.
It does.
Yeah. Are those your oldest children?
My only children, yeah. Your
only children.
Yeah.
So you got it over with in one shot.
Yeah,
that
boy
was
and a girl, Dylan and Addison.
Isn't that nice? That's perfect. That's perfect. So your children are a part of your inspiration, and I know your wife is as well.
Yeah, she's a salon owner and massage therapist, and she has a lot of his career. Her career is branched out there doing hair and having shows for other artists at her salon, clothing shows, jewelry shows. She's very open to the arts. She's always been a music fan, so that's kind of where I met her, was coming up to check out a show that I was playing at. So.
Oh, isn't that fun? That was going to be my next question.
Yep.
That's pretty cool. That's a good way to meet somebody. That's kind of how my son met his future wife as well. And you have to find that common ground, don't you?
Oh, yeah. You got to establish that early. Otherwise, that's where you find you head the opposite path, And if you can establish early the reason why you're hooked up, that'll be the bond. Yeah.
So when you're writing, besides the obvious inspiration, your children and your wife, what else inspires
What drives
you?
me to
Yes.
write music?
Yes.
I'm a writer. I was a journalist. Wrote for the Bay State Times, M
Oh, I
Live.
didn't.